All right. Anyways, let's go to the patch changes. There's going to be a lot. Objective bounties. Yay. Because you should be punished for winning the game. Remember, it's not good to win. You should be able to always win, even if you got shit on for 90% of the game. Objective bounties are another way for losing teams to get back into the game, because there's not enough of those, in addition to champion bounties. They grant extra gold rewards for taking objectives when a team is far behind, and are designed to be hard to claim, but not impossible. We still want the winning team's leads to matter, so losing teams will have to capture multiple objectives in order to cash out, because a single bounty won't pay out very much. We hope the objective bounties will allow you to execute big brain strats to equalize the game, rather than having to wait around to capitalize on your opponent's mistakes. Objective bounties activate only when a team is sufficiently behind, and objectives that'll pay out bounties are highlighted on the minimap for both teams. If the losing team takes an objective with an active bounty, each of its members will receive objective bounty gold. Okay, objective bounties are calculated in the background based on 4 factors: XP lead, gold lead, dragon lead, and turret lead. When they activate, each objective available to the team that's behind gains a bounty. Bounties start at the following, split evenly amongst all 5 team members: Baron or Elder, 500 gold; Drake's or Rift Herald, 500 gold; outer turrets, 250; inner turrets, 400; base turrets, 400. As the losing team falls farther behind, these base amounts can increase up to an additional 60%. The exact bounty for each reward will be visible under the losing team's objective icons in the map menu. Objective bounties activate 15 seconds after a team falls below the threshold and deactivate 15 seconds after they rise above it. This deactivation timer extends if the losing team remains in combat with an objective that has an active bounty. Jungle changes. We're introducing 2 new dragons to Summoner's Rift, complete with new buffs, souls, and terrain effects. The selection rate of Chemtech and Hextech Rift terrains will be temporarily doubled during patch 11.23 only, so you can try out the new map changes and dragon souls more frequently during the process. Chemtech Drake. Chemtech is all about playing on the edge, taking calculated risks, and fighting for every scrap. Chemtech Dragon Soul encourages you to go big or go home and trade your life for high value plays. Chemtech Drake buff grants up to 5% bonus damage per stack against enemies with 340 to 1020, your level 1 to 18, more current health than you. So wait, if you have higher health than the enemy team, that means that you don't get anything from the Chemtech Drake. That's kind of sad, because like if I'm a bruiser or a tank and I've got 3k health and I'm like fighting an 80 carry, I'm almost never going to proc this when it matters. Yeah, if it's flat current health, like I think this is kind of weird. I don't like when things are really specific like this. Like I feel like there should be some base value to it. And then it could maybe increase based on how much more current health they have than you. Chemtech Dragon Soul. When a team obtains the Chemtech Dragon Soul, they receive a buff that grants them a brief second life upon their death. Champions revive with 80% of their base health and 50% of their bonus health, and gain 75% for melee, 30% for range, decaying move speed. Revived champions take 40% less damage, deal 33% less damage, and take damage equal to an ever-increasing percent of their starting health every 0.25 seconds. I mean, this is kind of weird. It's kind of weird that you become more tanky, that you take less damage. Like, I understand you should deal less damage. You should also take, like, more damage, I think. The fact that you take less damage means that you're going to be able to, like, output a lot. Bro, this is going to be so broken. I mean, if you get the soul, it's going to probably be the strongest soul. And what the is this? Somebody revives, they're gonna like 33% less damage is not that much. I mean, if you're a 4-item, 5-item Caitlyn, your headshots are still dealing like 800 damage. This is like a better version of Scion passive. I don't know. I think that these numbers are weird. I don't like that you take 40% less damage. You should deal less damage. You should take more damage, I think. And you should have the damage ever increasing. That's at least what I think. Chemtech Rift. Gas zones emerge in 4 jungle locations that camouflage any champion within it. Champions within these zones deal up to 10% more damage to enemies who have more current health than them. Maximum damage is achieved when 340 to 1020 based on the attacker's level, less health than them. Same thing as the Chemtech buff, but like you get it. So you get like a super Chemtech buff inside the Chemtech Rift. Camouflage enemies are not revealed by regular vision wards, but are revealed by control wards, Scryer's Bloom, and effects that reveal invisible units. They're also revealed when you're standing near them. So it's just like around the red buff and around the wool. That's kind of weird that's around the wolves. So you're pretty much going to be Viego when you run into these little areas. I mean, what's weird about this, okay, so this is the problem. This is the thing that I think that's super strange, is that these are both like really good on opposite sides of the map. Like, this is so good for red team. Like, this is not balanced because for red team, they're gonna have a massive advantage around Baron. Being able to be like camouflaged here, walk in, like clear vision, like you can walk in here, you can check things, you can walk out on this side. Like, you're gonna have a massive advantage dealing with Baron on Chemtech Rift here, and then you're gonna have a massive advantage dealing with like Elder on Chemtech Rift here. I don't know. It seems really strange to me because the thing is, like, these are gonna spawn. You gotta remember that the rifts spawn at the 3rd Drake. That's what it spawns. So you could be like 10 minutes into the game or some shit, and you could be dealing with this. That could give you such an advantage on taking dragons, like contesting when you don't have vision. All right, Hextech Drake. Hextech Drake is all about controlling the map, flanking your foes, and trapping the enemy team for a wombo combo. The Hextech Dragon Soul grants a unique lightning that slows down enemies, allowing you to control teamfights and chase down stragglers. Hextech Drake buff grants 5 ability haste and 5% attack speed per stack. Hextech Dragon Soul. When a team obtains the Hextech Dragon Soul, they gain a chain lightning slow on their next basic attack or ability that deals 25 to 75 true damage based on champion level 1 to 18, bounces to 3 additional targets, and slows units hit by 45% for melee and 35% for range, plus 5% per 1000 bonus health, plus 1% per 100 AP, plus 3% per 100 bonus AD for 2 seconds with an 8-second cooldown. It's an AoE static shiv. I guess static shiv is AoE, but it's a static shiv that everyone has, but it's like really good on tanks because I think it's way easier for a tank to have 1,000 bonus health than a mage to have 500 AP. Well, also, for 100 AD, maybe this is better on I don't know. Doesn't seem proportionate. Hextech Rift. Pairs of hex gates appear across the map, which allow champions to quickly travel from one location to its paired counterpart. Hextech gates are activated with a brief channel that can be interrupted by immobilizes or damage. Each pair of Hextech gates has a 30-second individual cooldown per champion. So the 2 places you can Hextech gate. Oh, damn, that's a crazy Hextech gate. So this one just helps you get out of base faster. There's the one that, well, this could be like kind of good if they're sieging. Like, imagine you have Hextech map and the enemy team is sieging like your bot tier 1 and you Hextech gate behind them and flank them. And then be able to like reposition for Baron steals. Like, think about the Baron steal potential of this. You take this Hextech gate to here, they're on Baron, and then you just flash over and take it. You're just waiting at the gate. You're waiting at the gate with your smite ready. You blue trinket the Baron, take the gate over, flash in, smite the Baron, steal that shit, win the game. It doesn't say, like, these are the types of things that I would love to see in the changes. It doesn't say if this is instant or if it's, it says they're activated after a brief channel that can be interrupted. Like, what is a brief channel? Is a brief channel like 0.5 seconds? Is it 3 seconds? Is it 0.1 seconds? Like, what is a brief channel? That's, I hate when they use terminology that is like really unspecified. For me, it's just like, dude, just give us the numbers. Like, it has to be a number. Tell us if it's 2 seconds or if it's 5 seconds or if it's 0.1 second. Like, I don't know. Cloud Drake buff wasn't getting much love this year, despite being very powerful. It was hard to tune because it needed to give a lot of ultimate ability haste to be a powerful reward, but not so powerful that it completely warped the game. So we're making some adjustments. Run like the wind. Cloud Soul and Cloud Rift are unchanged. So for the Cloud Drake buff, instead of gaining ability haste, you now gain 3.5% out of combat movement speed and 3.5% slow resistance. Pretty interesting. Dude, this is what they do. This is how Riot always does their patch notes. They'll always justify whatever they do. It's all just based on data. I don't think that there's that much wrong inherently with basing things off data. But for me, my biggest issue is like, that doesn't mean that all the souls are balanced. Like, if you look at like all the win rates of souls and it's like, oh, well, they're all between like 70 and 75%. They're all balanced. What the bro? Yes, the team that's winning normally wins. So like saying that Cloud Soul has a similar win rate to like Infernal Soul, I don't know if that means that it's necessarily both equally strong. Just that, yeah, like some teams are just winning. And especially if you're including stats from like all ranks, most of the time, it's not going to affect the game that much because people aren't playing specifically around souls when you're in Pisslow. So like you have to look at a very specific set, and then you have to like look at you have to like use your eye test to also be able to determine what the souls are actually doing in the games. Okay, Rift Scuttler. The first Rift Scuttler spawn has been too impactful in deciding the outcome of the early game, so reducing its importance with lessened XP. Now that it's squishier and tinier, you can defeat it more easily and scuttle back to safety sooner. The first Scuttler will now have 35% reduced health and grants 80% reduced experience, so they're nerfing Scuttle Crab, so it's a jungle nerf, and been slightly reduced in size to match its lower value. Note, The 80% reduced XP does not impact the bonus XP granted by the Huntsman passive on jungle start items. So it's actually just a nerf to people taking the Scuttle Crab away from you. It's a nerf to griefing your jungler. Or actually, could it be a buff to griefing your jungler? Because if you take away his Scuttle Crab, you're not gaining as much, but you're like him over. Also, I don't even know, like, these are not things that people know off the top of their head. These are the types of things that, like, if you talk to a bunch of pro players and you ask them all, how much experience does the Scuttle Crab give you? You ask them all, how much experience does the Scuttle Crab give you? For a jungler and a laner, how much does a Huntsman passive give you? Like, how much of a nerf is this? How much does the Huntsman passive give you on Scuttle Crab compared to like how much you're gonna get now? What was the base experience of the Scuttle Crab? Like, these are not things that people know. Maybe they don't know the numbers, but the difference is easy to see because 5 camps into Scuttle doesn't give you level 4 anymore. Well, that's the way I would determine it, right? Like, I would have to play with this change and then be like, if I do 5 camps and then I do Scuttle, does that actually get me level 10? That would be the thing I would need to do. Okay, new items. Adding some new items for mages, tank. Wait, this is bad though. The fact that you do 5 camps. Wait, hold on. If you do 5 camps plus Scuttle and you're not getting level 4, like, that is pretty bad. So now you have to full clear to get level 4. So now are we going back to full clear meta? I feel like that's pretty weird. Okay, we're adding some new items for mages, tanks, bruisers, and assassins who all have been lacking meaningful options since the item system update last season. Not true, because all that you did on your assassins, and number one, like, bruisers I think were completely fine. When bruisers had Gore Drinker all season, and then they also had Divine Sunder, so I don't feel like they've been lacking meaningful options. They've had really good options. Just all their options were good. And assassins, just like their option was just going Gore Drinker, Sterax all season. So Crown of the Shattered Queen. Oh, this is gonna be the fun one. This is gonna be the great one. So this is a mythic item, right? Is this a mythic item? Yeah, it's a mythic item because it says mythic passive. Mages have often felt at the mercy of their bursty foes with little else to do but hide on the far side of team fights or hope their stopwatch is enough to survive. Or if there was an item in the game that gave you a stasis that was also cheap that you could itemize pretty early into the game, that could have also been an option. But yeah, that. Okay, anyways, this new mythic lets them sacrifice some early damage for the chance to live longer, especially in the early game, when a completed Zhonya's may not be a good option. Crown of the Shattered Queen, 2,800 gold. Lost Chapter, Kindle Gem, Amplifying Tome, and 265 gold. So really good build path. That's one thing to notice. This is a very good build path. You don't have to like have a high recipe cost. All these items are things you're probably going to want to build on these types of champions. This seems like a potential like a Vex item, potential like Lysandra item, maybe something like this. Maybe it's overkill with Lysandra because Lysandra's already tanky, but it's like, yeah, it's like a tanky bruisery AP item. Dude, this could be good on Silas. Ability power 70, health 250, mana 600, ability haste 20. The safeguard passive, you are safeguarded, reducing incoming damage, champion damage by 75%. Safeguard persists for 1.5 seconds after taking champion damage. 40-second cooldown restarts upon taking damage from an enemy champion. I mean, this is not like that great because people can just keep on hitting you and they can poke you off. So if the enemy has poke, this is going to be useless. While safeguarded and for 3 seconds after it's broken, gain 10 to 40 based on your champion's level ability power. I don't know. This is weird. So I guess it's more of a mage item because then you can avoid taking damage. I think like Katarina wouldn't be that great on because Katarina's, if you're going to be laning, you're probably going to be taking damage every 40 seconds and not be safeguarded. I would think that this would be not that good of an item. It's either going to be super OP or it's going to be bad. I just feel like the fact that you can't control it, right? It's a passive and it's 40-second cooldown and it restarts every time you take damage. You have to not take damage for 40 seconds to have it active. This might be better on junglers, honestly. This could be a jungle item because you come out of the jungle every 40 seconds and then you're just going to always have this, whereas like when you're laning it's not going to be as good. Maybe it's like a Lilia item. Mythic passive grants all other legendary items 1% movement speed and 8 ability power. Diana, I mean, I just feel like this might not be enough damage for those champions. Like 70 AP is pretty low for 2,800 gold. That's pretty low. This item might not be that good, actually. I thought this item would be insane. Even Shroud. Tanky supports felt pigeonholed into one mythic, Locket of the Iron Solari, which was a purely defensive tool. We're adding another mythic for those who want to focus more on engaging offensively instead of relying on Locket's anti-burst. 2,500 gold, Kindle Gem, Aegis of the Legion, and 300 gold, 200 health, 20 ability haste, 30 armor, 30 magic resist. After immobilizing champions or being immobilized, cause that target and all nearby enemies to repent. Increasing the damage they take by 12% for 5 seconds. Mythic passive. Grant all other legendary items 5 armor and 5 magic resist. Is this not going to just be better than Locket most of the time? Immobilizing champions or being immobilized. Like if you're playing Nautilus or something, isn't this just going to be better? I feel like this is really nice. It's like a mixture of like Abyssal Mask where you'd see like Nautilus players even rushing Abyssal Mask at part of the season. Now when you CC them, increase the damage they take by 12% for 5 seconds. Like, that seems really good. So if you like Nautilus ult somebody and it like knocks up everyone, then everyone's just going to be taking 12% extra damage for 5 seconds. It's like a flat, yeah, this is just crazy. Oh, so I'm saying what I'm saying. I didn't even realize those nearby enemies. So you don't even need to get hit by the CC here. If there's people near the CC that landed, they're also going to be repenting for 5 seconds. But I mean, I think the main thing is like, if you just Nautilus ult through a team, the whole enemy team takes an extra 12% damage for 5 seconds. Like, that's broken. This is crazy. Axia Mark. Prior to the Yumu's Ghostblade buff in patch 11.17, there weren't many options for assassins to pick up ability haste. Axia Mark is a new legendary item designed to be the ability haste pickup while also allowing ability focused assassins to snowball a lead. Axia Mark, total cost 3,000, build path Serrated Dirk, Caulfield's Warhammer, and 800 gold. Attack damage 55, ability haste 25, lethality 10. Wait, this is a legendary item? Why does it not say if it's a legendary item or a mythic item? It says it like here, but like, why not just put it like mythic, legendary? Like, it should just be in brackets next to it. Passive. When an enemy champion dies within 3 seconds after you've damaged them, refund 25% of your ultimate's total cooldown. Ooh. Seems like a little bit greedy though, because the stats aren't that insane. Like, what does Ghostblade give you? 18 lethality? So this is only 10 lethality. So this is something you'd pick up like later on, I assume, because like you'd still want to start with Ghostblade. I assume most people are going to want to start with Ghostblade. Wait, did they nerf Ghostblade? It says 3k. Wait, was Ghostblade always 3k gold? No, Ghostblade was 2,900, right? So they nerfed Ghostblade in this patch, I assume. Okay, yeah, they nerfed Ghostblade in this patch. Okay, because I just checked on the LoL wiki and it was changed. So I don't know how good this item would be. I mean, you're going to still want to go Ghostblade first into Eclipse most of the time on all these assassins. And then after that, you're normally going to want to go either like a Serpent's Fang or an Edge of Night, depending on if you need to hit shields or you need to survive. Or if you're playing against a lot of tanks, you probably need to go a Serelda's. So I just don't know when you'd actually buy this in your normal assassin build path. This seems like a very like niche luxury item. I feel like Ultimate CD is one of those things that sounds really good on paper, but it's the same reason that Cloud Drake didn't feel that good unless you're playing like Karthus or something. It's just the amount of times that you're actually able to ult off cooldown is super low. I mean, this could be good in a team fight if you like insta kill 3 people and you can ult twice in a team fight, but that seems very like niche compared to just doing more damage. I don't know. I'm not that big on this item. I think that this item will be generally useless. Shadowflame. Offensive options for mages have been quite narrow, especially for those who wanted legendary items to simply deal more damage. Shadowflame should let you blow up your opponent and will be extra spicy against those who stop your damage with shields on shields on shields. So this is the AP Serpent's Fang. Total cost 3,000 gold. Build path Hextech Alternator, needlessly large rod, and 700 gold. Ability power 100. Hextech Alternator. They love building things out of this Hextech Alternator. So now you have options if you want a Hextech Alternator, and it's not just a mythic item or Horizon focus. 100 ability power, 200 health, damage to champions benefits from 10 to 20 magic penetration based on the target's current health, maximum value at 1,000 health or less, minimum value at 2,500 or more health, gains the maximum magic penetration if the target was recently affected by a shield. The end of the shield bow meta. I don't know if you're going to want to buy this, bro. Like, I don't like if you buy a shield bow and then somebody buys a Shadowflame, does that even feel that bad? Because you got to remember that we're pigeonholed into that situation where people have to buy mythics. You have to buy mythics, and then after your mythic, you're going to have an option of legendary items to buy. Is this really going to be something that like you're going to want to buy in most games? Because a lot of characters are just going to want to go like, there's other things that are going to need to be bought a lot of the time. Zanya's is going to need to be bought a lot of the time because that's like one of your main ways to survive. Void Staff going to need to be bought a lot of the time. And then if you're adding like these types of items into your build, like Shadowflame, it's the main reason why a lot of people didn't like going Cosmic Drive, or people didn't like going what's the one I just said, Horizon Focus, is because you normally want a Death Cap in your build, you want a Zanya's in your build, and you want a Void Staff in your build. So then you only really have one other option for an item, and it's like, would you want to actually delay any of those items to build a Shadowflame? I feel like a lot of the time, no. I just feel like, yeah, you just probably want a Void Staff. All right, Winter's Approach. Tanks who need mana can struggle during team fights as they slowly grind through their mana bars. Let the spell spamming commence. Thanks, Wild Rift. Okay, Winter's Approach. Total cost 2,600. Tear of the Goddess, Kindle Gem, Ruby Crystal. This is not a mythic. What is this? Is this a legendary? What is this? Health 400, mana 500, ability haste 15, passive. Gain bonus health equal to 8% of your maximum mana. Okay, so it's like a Mura mana, but for health. Strike a target with an ability or auto attack to consume a charge and gain 3 bonus mana, doubled if the target is a champion. Grants a max of 360 mana, at which point it transforms into Thimble Winter. So it is so this is something that you go on, I mean, I guess a mana tank. I mean, people are saying Singed. Yeah, I can see that. A tank Rise, yeah. Imagine just Rise is building this item permanently. That would be great for balance. Nah, I don't think so. This item upgrades from Winter's Approach upon reaching mana charges, maximum 360 mana. You keep the same amount of health, same amount, or you get 360 mana, 15 ability haste, and you gain bonus health equal to 8% of your mana. Slowing, melee only, or immobilizing an enemy champion consumes 3% of your current mana and grants a shield for 3 seconds, absorbing 100 to 200 plus 5% current mana damage with an 8-second cooldown. This shield is increased by 80% if more than one enemy is nearby. So it makes you like a mana tank. I don't know how good this is gonna be, because you're gonna have no resistance. This is gonna be something that you like. I don't know if this is like, maybe it's like, I was thinking Maokai. I was thinking maybe Maokai could be good with this. The problem is you don't want to go the second, because then you have no like actually, because the mythics have armor and magic resist on it. Maybe if you have like tabbies plus a mythic item plus this, you'll be really hard to kill. The fact that it's 200 health on an 8-second cooldown, once you put resists with this, you have way too much effective HP. Tank items. Tank mythics sort of feel like reskins of each other right now. The choices aren't very cool or satisfying, just a bunch of different ways to burn people. These updates should create more distinction while still giving you the durability you need to succeed. We also gave the tank mythic passives a bit more health, so your stats progress better throughout the game. Tank legendaries had a different issue, where the MR options felt really light aside from Spirit Visage, so we're heightening the fantasies of other choices like Force of Nature and Abyssal Mask. Immolate was meant to help wave clear, but would instead often throw off your CSing because your own minions would steal the last hits. I mean, this only happened if you were bad at the game, let's be real. We're adding a small quality of life helper to help you miss fewer of them. This update takes effect on all items that have the passive. Now also executes minions that would be killed by one more tick of Immolate. Okay. Frostfire Gauntlet. In order to differentiate from the Immolate tank mythics, we've shifted some of Frostfire's power to its signature effect. The Snowbind AoE passive, this chunky hit should make chasing down and debilitating enemies much more satisfying. Caution, icy surface ahead. Snowbind passive. Basic attacks create a frost field that slows enemies, so that's not what's happening anymore. Now, basic attacks create a frost field for 1.5 seconds that deals 20 to 100 plus 0.5 max health magic damage to all enemies in that area. Enemies that move across the field are slowed. Slow rate and cooldowns unchanged. The Immolate passive is unchanged. The mythic passive is unchanged. Now basic attacks create a frost field for 1.5 seconds that deals damage. So now it'll deal damage instead of just, I mean, I feel like this is just what everyone's going to want to buy then, right? That looks really broken, doesn't it? This looks way too broken. Turbo Chemtank. Turbo Chemtank's Immolate effect often felt more like a requirement for jungle clear rather than an interesting passive. We're shifting the item's power into one big explosion, which should make it the go-to option for gankers and initiators that just gotta go fast. So it's gonna be the same thing. Moving and dealing damage fills up the chem tank at 100 stacks. Your next basic attack deals 40 to 1, so it's like a dead man's plate. 40 to 120 plus 1% health plus 3% move speed, magic damage to all enemy nearby enemy champions, increased by 25% against minions, or I guess it's minions and monsters, and 175% against jungle monsters. That doesn't seem close to as good as the Immolate passive though. Like if this stacks the same way, I mean, it obviously just depends on the rate at which it stacks. Like this is one of those things that is also very general. Moving and dealing damage fills up the chem tank. So yeah, if you're moving from camp to camp and dealing damage, like how quick do you get 100 stacks? But this does not look like it would be as good as the Immolate passive was. All right, mythic passive empowers each of your other legendary items with 5 ability haste and 50 health. So uninteresting. All right, Sunfire Aegis. Sunfire Aegis is the most expensive tank mythic, yet its stats are a bit underwhelming. We're buffing up its durability to match its cost. 3,200 gold, 350 health, 20 ability haste, 35 armor, 35 magic resist, and empowers each of your other legendary items with 5% slow resist, 5% tenacity, and 50 health. So this is like pretty much the same thing. Abyssal Mask. Last season's Abyssal Mask was powerful for champs who could use its immobilize effect and pretty much those champs only. We've reshaped it to be more of a hybrid offense/defense too that shines against tool that shines against magic damage comps or large team fights. It should also be an exciting choice for some AP bruisers and battle mages. Cost 2,700 gold unchanged. Kittle Gem, Spectre's Cowl, and 650 gold. So I assume this is going to be less MR. Yeah, it's going to be less MR because you're no longer building an Electron Cloak. You're using Spectre's Cal. So the health barely goes up. There's a little bit of ability haste on it. Magic resist is only 30, so it's not really an MR item anymore as much. Curse nearby enemy champions, reducing their magic resist by 5 plus 1% bonus health, max 20. For each cursed enemy, gain 7 magic resist. Okay. Nearby enemy chain. I mean, this could be okay. I'm not sure. It really just depends on... You really have to, like, this is one of those things where you have to try it out to really know if it's good or not. All right, Force of Nature. Force of Nature was meant to fill the void Adaptive Helm left behind, but its value straddles between stacking resistances and movement speed. We've condensed and buffed its effects a bit. It should now be the go-to option when facing heavy magic damage comps or high DPS mages like Ryze or Cassiopeia. Health 350. Magic resist 70. Movement speed 5%, unchanged. Absorb. Taking magic damage from enemy champions grants a stack of Steadfast, max 6, for 5 seconds. Enemy immobilizing effects grant an additional 2 stacks. While it's 6 stacks of Steadfast take 20% reduced damage and 10% movement speed. Wait, what the f? Because this was looking like shit until this. This item was looking like trash. I mean, pretty good MR, but 20% reduced damage. This is going to be broken, bro. This is going to be so broken. What? And this is really good if people are buying Void, because people are going to want Void to get through the MR, but then once they have Void, they're just going to be doing reduced damage, so then they're going to want to have more AP. This is broken. Knight's Vow was unpopular despite being powerful all year. Dude, I hate when they say this. Like, they use stats to justify, like, things being balanced, where it's like, it's not all about stats all the time. Like, you can't just be like, oh, Knight's Vow actually had a similar win rate to other items that you would go at the same point as Knight's Vow, so now that means that it was actually balanced and everyone was delusional. I really hate this wording. We've returned the ally heal so that pledge feels more like a mutual partnership rather than a selfless sacrifice. We also sharpened the damage reduction to work better against burst damage and remove the movement speed boost. 400 health unchanged, base health regen 150, ability haste 10 unchanged, pledge active is unchanged. Now the sacrifice. While your worthy ally is nearby, redirect 10% of the damage they take to you and heal for 8% of the damage they deal to champions. If they have less than 30% health, redirect 20% of the damage they take to you instead. Pretty nice 20% when they're under 30% health. This could have some like pretty broken combos. Imagine you're playing somebody like Olaf and then somebody's like your support is linking you. That would be really, really cancer. So here's where I disagree. I think Stoneplate was actually really good on the recent patches since Ingenious Hunter was buffed. I think not enough people did catch on to the fact that Stoneplate becomes so OP when you have the Ingenious Hunter reducing it by such a high amount. So I started actually going Stoneplate, third item on Hecarim. So you'd go like your Triforce or your Divine Thunder, which you get reduced by Ingenious Hunter, Starax reduced by Ingenious Hunter, and then Stoneplate reduced by Ingenious Hunter, and you go like a Predator Hecarim with all three. It's really broken. The build path sucks, but like once you complete it, and like normally at that point you're getting gold quicker. Locket of the Iron Solari, okay, they kept the same combined cost like they set up here, so nothing changes there. Mage items. Mage item choices have been pretty limited this season, especially for AP bruisers and for some battle mages. We're making a few options less generic, but otherwise opening up items to appeal to all AP users. Everfrost. We want to offer a cheaper tier of mythics for AP mana users who don't need luxury damage options right away. So we're bringing Everfrost price down to match the new mythic Crown of the Shattered Queen. This way, mana users can opt into cheaper items if they need an earlier spike. Total cost goes from 3,200 gold to 2,800 gold. Way cheaper. Holy shit. This is so broken. Wait, what? It's a Kindle Gem Lost Chapter Amplifying Home in 265 gold. 70 AP from 80. 250 health. 600 mana. 20 ability haste. And 5 less ability power. Wait, what? This seems so broken. It's nerfed. How is it? I mean, look, dude, the 5, like, who cares about mythic passives anyway? You're not building things for mythic passives, and like being able to spike on an Everfrost this early, 400 gold for 70 AP or for a 10 AP change, like that's not much. This seems really good. Demonic's Embrace, this item was pretty bad. This is an item that I wanted to be good for so long. I tried to make it work a million times and it just was bad. Like at the end of the day, it was just feeling bad. Demonic's Embrace should be a core item for AP bruisers, battle mages, and tanks who want more damage. It wasn't fulfilling that role very well, so we're removing its stacking resistance, boosting it for melees, and giving it a new passive that will make... Dude, melees, this is so fucking annoying. Because, like, the one champion that I thought Demonic's Embrace would be core on would be... I mean, there would be 2 champions. Like, one... Because, I mean, I'm thinking about junglers, right? One of them would be Lilia, which is technically a range champion. I know a lot of people think that because you got the stick and you whack people, you're a melee champion. Nope, you're a range champion. And then like I thought Karthus would be another champion that would like this type of item if you wanted to be like a tanky frontline Karthus, like a Karthus that goes like Zanya's, Leandri's, Demonic Embrace Void and just walks in and dies. Fiddle as well. Ability power is 60 AP, health 450. Dealing ability damage burns enemies for 2% for melee, 1.2% for ranged, max health. Magic damage every second for 4 seconds. No longer grants bonus resistances while enemies burn. Gain 2% of your bonus health as ability power. I mean, I hate this, bro. I literally hate this. I think they made it worse somehow. I actually think that this item unironically got worse. Archangel staff. Archangels and staffs are basically just big, powerful sticks of AP and mana this year. We're pushing them to better fit spell slinging, battle mage, and bruiser playstyles. 3,000 gold is unchanged. Tear of the Goddess, Kindle Gem. Ooh, gonna have health on it now. Tear of the Goddess, Kindle Gem, Blasting One, and 950 gold. 60 AP. Wait, this is even better for like Rise now, right? 200 health, 500 mana unchanged. Gain ability power. Wait, gain ability haste equal to 0.5% bonus mana instead of gain ability power. Gain ability haste equal to 0.5% bonus mana. I don't know if I like that. So when it's upgraded, it goes from 65 AP to 80 AP, 250 health, 860 mana unchanged. Gain ability haste equal to 1.3% bonus mana. Restore health equal to 40% of mana spent. Up to 25 to 50 plus 10% ability power per cast. Toggles can restore the same amount per 1 second. So it's like a healing item. So now it's like a ability haste healing item. It's like a fucking Silas item maybe. I wonder how Silas is going to be with Archangel's staff, which sounds weird, and Everfrost. I mean, this is just weird, the direction that they're pushing everything in. I don't like this idea because I felt like the biggest problem with mages this season, especially from talking to people that played mages, was people felt like mages didn't do as much damage as they should be. But now they just are making mages tanky, where I don't feel that should be the goal. I feel like the goal should be dealing more damage as mages and still remaining that squishy long-range class. So, Cosmic Drive. Cosmic Drive was strong throughout the season, but not very exciting. We're amping up the fantasy of this move fast, cast fast item and making its passive available way sooner. Total cost, 3,000 gold unchanged. Fiendish Codex plus Aether Wisp plus Ruby Crystal plus 850 gold. Ability power goes from 80 to 75. Wait, is that 80 or 60? I think it's 80. 80 to 75. The health increases by 50, so less damage, more health. Ability haste goes from 20 to 30. Now there's 5% movement speed on it. Now you have Spell Dance. Damaging a champion with 3 separate attacks or spells grants 20% movement speed, decaying to 10% at 40 AP until leaving combat. Okay, so instead of having more ability haste and move speed, or like, so the thing before was, I think if you had 160 AP, you gained 20 ability haste and 20 move speed. Now, if you combo somebody with damage, it gives you 20% movement speed and 40% ability power until leaving combat. Interesting. Not sure. I'm not sure how that'll work. Horizon Focus. Horizon Focus was pretty niche. Glass Cannon was a pretty niche glass cannon item that essentially gave long-range mages a lot of bonus damage. We're broadening its use case so that more champions feel happy picking it up. Total cost, 3,000 gold, unchanged. Hextech Alternator. Fiendish Codex. Ugh, I don't really like this. Oh my god, they killed the AP. Hextech Alternator plus Fiendish Codex plus 1050 gold. This is a horrible build path. This feels disgusting to build. Ability power goes from 115 to 85. Now you get 150 health. 15 ability haste. Now you get 15 ability haste. And now applies hyper shot to slowed enemy champions. I hate this. It's like the same thing with everything, bro. Voice Out is a very powerful but generic purchase for amping up your AP and melting through MR. We're shifting some of its power to its magic penetration, so it's not a one-stop shop for mages who buy it. So they're increasing the price by 100 gold. It now builds out of the Blinding Jewel, which is like the Void Staff component. Blasting One and 800 gold, so they're just increasing the recipe cost, right? Yeah, by 100. Gives you 65 AP and 45% magic pen. I mean, it'll still fit the same thing. I think this literally changes nothing. I think changing 5 AP and giving it 5 magic penetration is just a legit buff, even if it's 100 gold. So I think that this will still just be built all at the exact same time. Doran's Ring. We're adding an incentive to Doran's Ring for champions who want to get aggressive in lane. We still want champions to have success or to have access to mana in tough matchups. So we're keeping the base mana regen relatively high. Now there's just a bonus treat for dueling. So killing a unit restores, I think it said 6 mana before. If you can't gain mana, restore 3 health instead. Now you restore 75 or 0.75 mana every second. Damaging an enemy champion increases this amount to 1.25 mana every second for 10 seconds. Can't gain mana, restore 50% of the value as HP instead. So now if you're like fighting more in lane, you should be gaining more mana. So like before, the way you have to think about it is this, right? Killing a unit restores 6 mana. So every wave, which is every 30 seconds, you're able to restore 36 mana. And then with cannon waves, it would have been 42 mana. So now when you damage an enemy champion, you gain 1.25 mana per second. So this was 36 mana per wave. And then this is 1.25 mana for 10 seconds, which would be 12.5. Wait, it's the same. Wait, it's literally just the exact same. But now if you're fighting more and not CSing, it's better. Because this is 12, so this would be 36, just like that would be 36, right? Hextech Alternator. As one of many AP damage items that were a bit too glass cannony, we're trading some of AP. No! Stop trading all the AP for durability. It's every item. I don't want to see health on every item. Trading some of its AP for durability. This change affects Horizon Focus and the next 3 items. This change affects Horizon Focus and the next 3 items, all of which build from Hextech Alternator. Total cost 1050 gold. Amplifying Tome plus Ruby Crystal plus 215 gold. Ability power, you lose 15 ability power, you gain 150 health. Revved passive is unchanged. Bro, it's literally on every item. It's a joke. It's like everything you read is like, all right, so everyone thought that Liandry's was burning for too much damage. So what we've decided is to now make Liandry's heal for a percentage of all the damage you burn, but the burn damage is reduced. Nice, bro. Just give me a job at Riot. I can just do what you guys want. Hextech Rocket Belt, total cost unchanged. The build path is Amplifying Tome, Hextech Alternator, and Blasting Wand because they need to get more AP from somewhere because the Ruby Crystal is now within the Hextech Alternator. And so this used to build out of 2 amp tomes. They just pulled the swap on you. So it used to build out of the Hextech Alternator used to build out of 2 amp tomes, and now they took the amp tome out of the Hextech Alternator and put it outside in the recipe where the Ruby Crystal used to be. So it used to be Ruby Crystal, Hextech Alternator, and Blasting Wand. Now it's Amp Tome, Hextech Alternator, and Blasting Wand. So they just literally reversed it. Boom, gotcha. Some guy like came to them. They're like, yo, this isn't gonna make sense. Like, how are we gonna make this work? Because we don't want to change Rocket Belt. We want to change the other item. We want to change the Hextech Alternator. Like, no, we got it. This is what we're gonna end up doing. We're gonna put the Amp Tome outside of it. It's genius. We fixed it all. Night Harvester, total cost 3,200 gold, unchanged. Build path, amplify. Oh, they did the same thing here. Oh, that sneaky little amp tome. They got that sneaky little amp tome out of the recipe. They figured out how to do it. All right, lethality items. While assassins were strong, their mythics felt lackluster. Many assassins were opting into mythics like Goredrinker or Stridebreaker, and some rushed legendaries like Yomu's before their mythic. We're not opposed to flexing into unique builds, but building a lethality mythic first was almost always the weaker option. We're reducing the gap between mythics and Yomu's for melee lethality users, while ranged lethality users should be relatively unaffected. Reducing the total cost by 100. Now builds out of a Serrated Dirk, a Caulfield's Warhammer, and 900 gold. Bonus AD on the next basic attack to enemy champion deals 75 plus 30 bonus AD for melee, 55 plus 25 bonus AD for ranged. All else unchanged. So just a slightly more damage. They're buffing the damage of Dustblade and making it cheaper. Okay. Eclipse now builds out of a Serrated Dirk, a longsword. Oh wait, it's the same thing. It's just they added 100 gold, or they reduced 100 gold here. So the only thing that changes it now is 100 gold cheaper on the recipe component. Cooldown for melee champions reduced from 8 seconds to 6 seconds. All else unchanged. So Eclipse is just better on melee champions. It's just better on like Talon. I still think people are going to rush Ghostblade first because like Ghostblade is so good. Because of the movement speed, it feels really nice. Prowler's Claw, 3,100 gold. Serrated Dirk, Caulfield's Warhammer, 900 gold. Dash deals 75 plus 30% bonus 80 physical damage, all else unchanged. Rek'Sai buff, because Rek'Sai didn't like to go Ghostblade, so Rek'Sai buff right here. Rek'Sai's OP now. All right, Yomu's Ghostblade, they just increased the price by 100 gold. We're into runes. First Strike. First Strike is a new inspiration keystone that gives you a huge damage and gold boost when you strike an enemy champion first, but nothing if they hit you first. It's been great for artillery champions and assassins during playtests. We're excited to see you experiment with it. You can read more. Oh, so it's like Klepto 2.0. First Strike. Basic attacks or abilities against enemy champions within 0.25 of entering combat grant 5 gold and First Strike for 3 seconds, causing you to deal 10% extra damage against champions and granting 10%, 70% for ranged champions of bonus damage dealt as gold. Wait, what? Oh my god. Wait, you can make so much gold here, can't you? So if you kill somebody from like, so if you burst somebody in 3 seconds from 3,000 life, you make 300 extra gold. Like that's how the math would work. Who could do that much damage realistically? A lot of champions, bro. Like Fiora maybe. I feel like this could be a Fiora rune. because Fiora gets to choose a lot of fights. It seems like it's just going to be used by the same people that use Klepto. So I think Fiora could be good with it. Camille could be good with it if you don't need Grasp for a game. Like range top laners still might be good, even if it's only 70% for range. If you're able to always proc it, it'd probably be good. If an enemy strikes you first strike goes on cooldown without providing any of its bonuses. Unlike Banshee's Veil, subsequent damage won't keep restarting the cooldown. Oh, if an enemy strikes you first. So what is the cooldown on it? Oh, 25 to 15 second cooldown at levels 1 to 18. So you can time this. So if an enemy, so like it can come back up in a fight technically. You could be fighting somebody, right? They hit you first. And then like you disengage, like they can poke you first in a trade. And then as it's coming up off cooldown, if they hit you and it's still technically on cooldown because it's not restarting like Banshees, or like the new AP Mythic, you could actually hit them afterwards in the trade. But if that is right when the cooldown ends, then you'll actually proc your first strike. Prototype Omnistone Removed. Don't need to read any of this, right? It's removed. Glacial Augment. Some champions were using Glacial Augments, freeze ray to CC enemies before casting skill shots to guarantee a wombo combo, which though clever, wasn't the intended design. This updated version should appeal to tanks and some enchanters without removing skill expression. We think it'll be particularly useful to defend allies or amplify huge engages. Basic attacks on hit periodically slow enemy champions. Immobilizing an enemy champion will cause 3 glacial rays to emanate from them towards you and other nearby champions, creating frozen lines for a few seconds that slow enemies for 35%, plus 5% per 10% heal and shield power, plus 2% per 100 AP, plus 2% per 100 bonus AD, and reduce their damage by 15% against your allies, not including yourself. The frozen lines last for 3 plus 100% of the final duration of the immobilizing effect seconds. Sounds like it could be pretty good. Seems like a decent support rune. Well, I mean, I think that even if it's not, even if the slow is able to be like negated, the fact that the reduced damage is there is really big. Last change. Is this the last change? Lethal tempo. The keystones available for marksmen felt a little flat. Halo Blades offered a burst of instant attack speed. Lethal Tempo, a delayed burst of attack speed. Press the attack, a delayed burst of damage. Lethal Tempo stood out as the least popular of the bunch despite having a similar win rate. This meant it was either more niche, less satisfying, or both. We're clarifying Lethal Tempo's identity as the best ramping option for long-term value, adding attack range to make it more unique. Okay, so they removed the Lethal Tempo passive. New Lethal Tempo passive. Gain 50% for melee, 5% for range. Attack speed for 6 seconds when striking at least one enemy champion with each auto attack. This effect stacks up to 6 times. While this effect is at its cap, also gain 50 for melee, 100 for ranged attack range, and increase your attack speed cap from 2.5 to 10. Oh my god, so you can have insane attack speed. Bro, we're gonna get to see some crazy clips. You're gonna get to see some like Korean 80 carries in LCK micromanaging space gliding all over the world. I mean, 100 attack speed for range. I mean, this could be really good. All right, not bad.